So Alex, your question was looking at the economic effects of trading blocks. The approach you took, which is one approach, different one could have been if you wanted to do the supply within the EU and joining of the trading block would increase the tariff, so that there would be a switch from getting goods from, say, New Zealand, and a loss of quantity there, which is increases domestic producer surplus and domestic quantity. So Q2 minus Q plus Q4 minus 3. So that you could analyse that argument. What you did is you went for comparative advantage. You've got the different amounts here. If you're going to start with 500 and 200 in terms of the UK doing 500 of A and 100 of B, you're going to be somewhere up here. So have your starting position on, and then also have France has got 200 of one and 400 of the other, which would be somewhere, I'm not exactly sure where in terms of your scales. So I mean, if you try and do one that's both of them starting at the same amount, then you can specialise in both, which may agree a bit more with this diagram. I think it's just be careful that your numbers work out. The other thing you could do is on your amounts here, when you specialise, this doesn't yet show the benefits from trade. What it does show is that the total global production has gone up. What you would then need to do is, if the UK starts with 500 of A, if they keep 600 and trade 400 of France, and France keeps 500 of it and trades 300 with the UK, what you have is an extra 200 here, an extra 100 here, an extra 200 here, and an extra 100 here. So what you do have then is supply increasing in both countries, which would reduce the price because the factors of production are still the same, and that would also potentially have an increase in quality, and therefore standard of living would rise. So just that little extra bit at the end really does explain it in full detail. You've got an increase in exports there, yes. Improved balance of payments, yes. On your negative side, the external tariff will reduce countries from outside the bloc. Last point I wouldn't really make, I'd probably just stick with that, the countries losing out, so that's trade diversion, which is the countries that are outside the trading bloc now have an increase in protectionism, or there's an increase in the tariff that you've got there, and that would reduce their exports and potentially reduce their aggregate demand. This removes countries' ability to utilise protectionism against other countries within the trading bloc, so you could say that, yeah, potentially you might lose out if you do move into a trading bloc and there's a lower cost country within there.